All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about manifesting, the law of attraction, but probably not in the way you're used to hearing about it. Let's put the magical thinking on the shelf for a little bit, because today we're going to dig into a structural explanation for why these practices can sometimes feel like a miracle and why they so often don't.
So, here it is, the big question. What is the deal with this? Why does it seem to literally create magic for some people, while for so many others, it's just a frustrating dead end? It doesn't matter if you're a true believer or a total skeptic, you've seen it. Some people swear by it, and others just feel more stuck than when they started. So what's really going on here?
And this really lays out the two sides of the coin, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got these incredible stories, unexpected opportunities, things just clicking into place. But let's be honest, on the other hand is the much more common experience, hitting a plateau, getting frustrated, and that really awful feeling that you're just doing it wrong somehow. It's pretty clear the usual explanation is missing something important. So I want to introduce a completely new way of looking at all this. One that, frankly, doesn't require you to believe in anything magical at all. We're going to look at this whole thing through the lens of structure to really understand what's happening, and it all starts with one simple idea.
This quote really gets to the absolute heart of the matter. The experiences people have, they're real. Something is definitely happening. The problem isn't the experience, it's the language we've been using to describe it. That's where all the confusion, all the frustration really begins.
And that brings us to this core concept, structural cognition. The easiest way to think about it is like the internal operating system of your mind. It's all about how your inner systems, what you pay attention to, your sense of identity, what you're focused on, how they all line up to produce results. And here's the kicker. It's all happening inside of you. No mysterious forces required.
Okay, so using this new structural lens, let's start translating some of these, mystical-sounding concepts into something much more practical. We're basically going to pop the hood and see what's actually going on inside your own mind when you try to do this stuff.
So let's start with intention. The old idea is that you're like sending a wish out into the universe. But what if setting an intention is really just about giving your own brain a new set of instructions? You're not asking the cosmos for a red car. You're programming your own attention to finally notice red cars and opportunities related to them. You're just reorienting your internal compass.
And what about raising your vibration? Forget about some kind of woo-woo energy field. Structurally, this is simply about increasing your system's internal coherence. Think of it like tuning an orchestra. When all your internal instruments, your thoughts, your feelings, your goals are in sync, you get beautiful music. When they're not, you just get noise. It's about harmony inside yourself.
Now this one is a really huge mental shift. Belief isn't some magic power that causes things to happen. Think of it more as a permission slip that you write for yourself. It just reduces the internal friction that stops you from taking action. That's why someone who's skeptical but focused can often get way better results than a believer who's full of internal conflict. The real power isn't the belief itself, it's that internal coherence we were just talking about.
Okay, now for the big one. Let's talk about why this so often fails. And I've got some good news for you. It's probably not because there's something wrong with you. It's almost always a problem with the structure.
And here is the number one reason things just don't work. Identity resistance. It's simple, really. If the outcome you think you want conflicts with who you believe you are deep down, your internal system will slam on the brakes. And listen, this is not self-sabotage. This is a self-preservation instinct. Your system is just trying to keep you stable and consistent with your own identity.
But, of course, it's not always just about what's going on inside. Sometimes the world's outside. Your job, your city, the economy. It just isn't the right environment for what you're trying to achieve. You can have the best seed in the world, but if you plant it in concrete, it's not going to grow. This isn't an excuse. It's a real structural constraint.
Which, of course, usually leads to this, the toxic blame game. Oh, you didn't believe hard enough. You must have had a negative thought and you ruined everything. I mean, we've all heard this stuff, right? It's a total dead end. It doesn't help you, and it just adds more stress and noise to your system.
And this structural perspective gives you a way out of that trap. Because from this point of view, failure isn't a moral failing. It's just a data point. It is your system giving you incredibly valuable feedback that something isn't aligned, either inside you or outside in the world. It's not a reason to beat yourself up, it's a signal to adjust your map.
So all of this brings us to what I think is the real point of all these practices. See, the goal was never about attraction in the first place. It was always and only about alignment. This right here, this captures the entire shift in thinking.
The old way tells you to be a magnet to try and pull things to you. The structural reality is that you're actually a navigator. You don't pull the treasure island to your boat. No, you use a map and a compass to sail your boat to the island where the treasure already is. You move yourself into environments where the things you want already exist.
So look, if you've ever tried any of these manifesting techniques, you weren't playing with magic. It turns out you were accidentally training some incredibly powerful psychological skills. You were learning how to pay attention on purpose, how to reduce your own internal conflict, how to align who you are with what you do, and how to spot opportunities you would have completely missed before.
At the end of the day, you can keep all the practical skills and just throw away the mystical explanations that don't serve you. The parts that actually work, the focused attention, the internal alignment, getting out of your own way, those parts are real, and they're yours to keep. The magical story was just the wrapping paper. And let's just end on this one final, powerful thought. The goal isn't to bend reality to your will. The real power has always been in reconfiguring your own internal structure, so you can move gracefully into alignment with the reality you want to experience. The change doesn't happen out there, it happens in here.